Hi, guys. Today, I really want to talk about you, the expat. This has been something that I've been really thinking about for a while. Um, I live in Paris. I've been an expat for a very long time in my life, I guess. And one of the things I'm most grateful for is the diversity of perspectives that expats have been able to give me, in various different countries. Um, so, for example, when I moved to Canada, Canada is also it's a very diverse place, and it had a lot of things to introduce me to in my life. I moved from a relatively conservative country, which is Oman in the Middle East, and I moved to Canada. And just realizing that when I was there, a lot of people were living lives that I thought were not the way life was supposed to be lived because of my, I guess, previous very straightforward kind of conditioning back in Oman. So there were people I respected that were doing things that, a lot of people in my community as an Indian from Oman would have thought was not the natural or the right way of doing things. So because I interacted with so many of these incredible people who had such different lives than what I'd been told was the standard model, the template for life. Because I interacted with so many of those people, I feel like my resistance to anything outside of that model diminished. I was able to understand more and more that life can be whatever you want it to be. And I think for that reason, I've really, really, really enjoyed my expat journey. And today I just really want to thank you. If you are an expat or you're considering moving anywhere, like, what you're doing is truly incredible. Because oftentimes some people sure move because, situations where they are not comfortable, and they want to move to a different country where the lifestyle is different. Whatever your reason to move is, you are answering a calling that is making you step out of your comfort zone in a way, because there is a lot of ease in staying in an environment that and the lovely people that I've met in Paris, a lot of them have been internationals, expats, immigrants, whatever term you want to use. The lovely people I've met in Paris who have had such incredible stories, such incredible backgrounds, they have all had one thing in common. They have made the active effort to overcome their sense of, I'm good in my comfort zone, and walk into the unknown, where the language is different, where the culture is different, potentially the way of looking at life is completely different. And you've done this, you are planning on doing this, and for that I just have to commend your bravery. And in the same breath as I say that, I'm commending my own past for having moved to so many different places, adapted to so many different kinds of environments. Truly, the expat is just expat immigrant, anybody who moves to a different place is just a beacon of bravery in this world. Because it's not easy, really. I mean, I spoke to so many people over the course of the last little while, and they've told me their stories about when they first moved to a place like Paris, especially. When they first moved to a place like Paris, the number of things that they have to overcome, from a language, admin, getting a new place, sorting yourself out from a career standpoint, sorting yourself out from a relationship standpoint, all of those things, you're the one overcoming them. Like, that's incredible. That's something that you should give yourself a little pat on the back for. So I understand that, oftentimes it feels overwhelming and it feels like you're not able to kind of make sense of anything. It feels like a struggle, an uphill battle, and it's true. Oftentimes it is, but you're the one overcoming this every single day. And I feel like you need a little bit of an homage to you. You, the expat, thank you for being here. Like, I don't think you understand how much of an impact you have on the community around you. So I'll give you an example. So sure, Paris is changing everybody who comes here. You know, everybody who moves to Paris is being changed by Paris. There's no question about it, obviously. You know, we're learning French, we're understanding how people work, we're learning, you know, how to interact with one another on the streets. It's all very different in different places, right? So obviously Paris is changing you, but do not for 1 second think that you're not changing Paris, because you are equally. Equally. I've seen over the last 7 years here, the number of people who speak English has significantly increased. I've seen just more welcoming vibes from the people of Paris, especially given the Olympics recently. Like, you could really see that. They were so welcoming to everybody, to tourists, to international people, to expats who have moved here recently, you know, and are going through the whole kind of introduction to Paris process. I just feel like people have become more welcoming because we're here, you know, and we're happy to be here and we love it here. That's my cat Momo. He's the best, and that's Tara. We're so happy to be here. This is my point. I feel like when it comes to expats, the value that I think that you are giving yourselves is significantly less than it should be, because you are an incredible, brave, courageous human being who has actively taken the step to walk out of the known into the unknown for your own development, sure, you know. However, it has such massive implications on everything. I don't know if you've heard of something called the butterfly effect. So this is a concept where I believe, and if I'm getting the story wrong, please correct me in the comments or whatever, but there was some kind of study done to assess the changes to meteorological events, large-scale events, and the effect of small variables to the overall whole, right? And one of the things that they found was that, you know, the percentage of change needs to be so small for there to be a big change in like weather conditions, that it was equivalent to a butterfly flapping its wings can cause a storm somewhere in the world. You know, it was very, very tiny. So like if the change was, if the butterfly did not flap its wings, it would have not caused a cascade of events that eventually led to there being some kind of storm somewhere in the world, right? So it's that precise. It's that kind of energy that the butterfly effect kind of evokes. It's the idea that everything kind of is just happening so perfectly, right? Now, if that is true, think about like how much change you are bringing to the world as an individual who's moving to a completely different country, bringing your own values, bringing your own perspectives, bringing your own diversity, your own kind of sense of what life should be like, you know, and bringing that to a place is going to enrich it. And you are enriching it. So thank you. This is my little ode to the expats. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for watching this. I think this is going to be a really fun time. I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of different things, but I really want to focus a lot on expats in season 1, at least because I think it's an incredible topic. Your understanding of relationships as an expat is so much different from, let's say, a French person who's lived in Paris all of his life or her life. Your perspective on friendships is going to be so different. Your perspective on mental health is going to be so different. It's all so interesting. Your perspective is valuable, and it is so precious. Thank you for being here, genuinely. So this second episode is an ode to the expat, you know, and I'm sure maybe I haven't provided enough information about myself over the course of the last couple of episodes, but I am just somebody who really enjoys the idea of shouting out, you know, and the expats are in one way or the other my people, and I feel like eventually want to become French so that I can welcome more people into my new place, into my new home, into into what I think is just this incredible melting pot of incredible ideas and people. So yeah, that's my second episode, I reckon. I don't think it needs to be any longer than that. Thank you for watching. And if you have anything that you want to say, if you have any kind of like comments you would like to make or questions you'd like to ask, I'd be more than happy to kind of address them in my future episodes. I'm just trying something out here. I think this is just it's going to be a fun project. And I really appreciate you being along for the ride. Thank you.